After years of military service and successful careers in the construction and entertainment industries, these three determined individuals share a story that resonates across the country. Out of work and out of options, each of them was searching for a hand up and the chance for a new beginning.
I served in the Navy on active duty for 9 years and then joined the reserves. Coming from 2 small boy ships, 300 people on each boat, you had a sense of family, a sense of brotherhood. You took care of each other. The boat was your home. I worked in repair division department, learned to be a welder. I learned to be a plumber, a pipe fitter. When I was discharged, the biggest challenge that I faced was finding work here in California.
This is the first generation of business leaders that has largely never served in the military. And so it's very, very difficult for veterans to translate the skills and the jobs they did in the military to something similar in the civilian world.
We had nowhere to go, so we were staying with my wife's parents. There was constant bickering because I was unemployed. We couldn't stay there anymore. We found a small house in Palmdale. Having to look for work on a daily basis, sending in application after application, resume after resume. I was giving up. My whole life fell apart. At one point we were on food stamps. My unemployment was only giving me $240 per week. Trying to survive, pay rent, pay bills, I didn't feel like the man I should have been. I wasn't providing the way I was taught to provide. The only thing that was keeping me going were both of my kids and my wife. It was driving me to the point of insanity, of not getting any word or feedback from companies. I just decided to go back to school.
He had the skills already within him. He was just out trying to fine-tune his skills.
When I started attending, I heard about JVS from the VA representative there at the college. I went down and I talked to Aaron and to John there at JVS.
When Laurence first came to Veterans First emotionally, he was torn down. He was hurting.
They were sensitive to what I needed, what I was looking for.
I know what they went through. I've been at the bottom of the barrel, served in Iraq multiple times.
They could relate, they could understand because of the fact that I was a veteran.
Employers were looking for hard certificates, which is a problem most veterans face these days, is they're trained while they're in the military, but once they get out, they have no certifications to transfer into civilian life. What we suggested is that he couple that welding degree or certification with wind turbine training.
When I heard Veterans First could fund my training at Airstreams, I was really happy about it. I was enthused. I knew once I completed it, it would help me actually get a real job.
The electrical skills that Laurence learned at Airstreams turned out to be really valuable for him.
I ended up getting the job with ASC, Aerospace Service and Controls. Currently, I'm an ASME welder. For the last 7 months, things have been working great. The certifications, the training, everything that helped me to get the job, it made me as confident as possible.
He's now completing his associate's degree at AV College and doing very well.
I want to earn my degree in welding, but I want to transfer. I need to complete mechanical engineering. I want to go into aerospace engineer.
I think Laurence's motivation is his family.
I'm a lot happier wanting to progress and to strive higher.
Helping other veterans, I love it, just as another veteran did to me.
If it wasn't for John and Aaron, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I think that if there's any other veterans that are out there, like I was, they need to take a look at Veterans First. They need to talk to somebody to see what they could do to help them, like they did help me.
I worked for 15 years in the entertainment industry, from being an executive assistant to being an associate producer. My friends and I all were successful. I had no idea that wasn't going to be the way that my life was for the rest of my life. I became the primary caregiver of my Uncle Tony, who was dying of AIDS. I quit my job at Fox because it looked like my uncle was in his last years of living. I took care of him for 2 years. My uncle eventually passed away. I was in shock. He was the glue that held our family together. I did have savings still. I wasn't really prepared for the aftermath. After my uncle passed away, I was out of work for 2 years. I was still receiving unemployment, luckily. There was nothing. I'd never had a problem getting a job, and I had problems getting jobs as a temp. 0 to negative balance in every account. My transportation was limited, not having gas in my car. I was getting around on foot. I ate when I could find food. My clothes stopped fitting. I had to pin my clothes. I lived at the time in an apartment building in Venice, and when people were cooking, I'd literally be like, hey, hi, how are you? And hopefully they would offer me food. I was frantic, sinking very quickly, like quicksand. Luckily, I found out about the WorkSource Center, and shortly thereafter, I met Elise.
And she said, I need to talk to you. I need help.
I was very honest with her and told her, I'm hungry.
She started crying. She felt like it was the end of the world.
Elise put me in touch immediately with Ivan at the Family Source Center, met with him, and had food to eat that night, literally. I was getting evicted from my apartment. Ivan put me in touch with an attorney. It was amazing. It's like having my own personal angel.
Danielle received the Emergency Cash Grant, which is sponsored by the Jewish Federation.
We look for resources in the community, we partner with other organizations, and make sure that people get comprehensive services.
It made a huge difference in my life. I didn't know how I got so lucky and so much assistance so quickly. Elise helped me revamp my resume. My caseworker here opened up a closet door and said, look, we have donations here too. And I was thrilled to find clothes that I could wear, and I was sent on a job interview.
When I first met Danielle, she was very cordial and looked very professional, and I thought she would be great for our position at our front desk.
When I heard that I got the job, it was a powerful moment. It was wonderful.
Our goal at the WorkSource Center is to get everybody working.
Always comes in with a great attitude. It was a perfect fit for us.
He's a great boss, and I really enjoy working for him.
We want her to grow with our company.
Having a steady job has improved my life immensely. This experience has given me much more empathy. It's made me much more humble.
I think JVS is a fantastic resource for employers.
JVS definitely helped put the puzzle of my life back together.
Larry's role in our company was to take the job from the initial blueprints all the way up to perfecting everything, hanging the pictures on the wall. He was full charge superintendent / project manager.
Building something is always a creative process, and it's a collaborative process, which goes back to the people that you're working with.
He just liked action and being outdoors, enjoying the sunshine. A bunch of us were skiing and snowboarding together.
I made a bad choice at a split second.
All of a sudden, there was a phone call from my wife, who was in the back of the line, said, Larry just had an accident. Better come back up here. Came down on his head and neck, and I think was instantly paralyzed.
He went with me down the hill in the sled, in the ambulance to the emergency room. He never left. When I regained consciousness and realized how badly I was injured and how difficult I had made my life and my family's life, I was completely devastated.
When the big guy takes the big hit, it's humbling to everybody.
I was at Craig Hospital, rehab hospital in Denver for 4 months. My wife took off from work. She stayed with me the whole time in the rehab hospital.
His wife, she said, we're going to fix this house. A bunch of the construction community sort of came together. Everybody chipped in and pretty quickly made it an accessible place.
The caregivers are a huge expense. Out-of-pocket prescriptions, physical therapy. It wiped out our life savings, it wiped out my IRA, it wiped out everything. I wasn't getting well as fast as I thought I should. I didn't realize how much my mental attitude in terms of having hope to do anything else played a part in that. I ran into an old high school friend who encouraged me to get involved in the services that were at JVS.
Larry's outlook was uncertain.
Maybe I should be doing something completely different.
The major benefit of the assessment process is for the participant to grow and discover what the next best step is.
Through the testing, it honed right in.
It all pointed back towards being a consultant in the construction field.
His plan built on his transferable skills, his past extensive experience in the construction field.
Jose was really instrumental. With this plan, I'd be certified as a consultant in the field of access for the disabled.
There is a big demand for the services Larry will be able to provide.
I'm currently taking a class in the UCLA Extension Certificate Program for Construction Management. Really enjoyed being back in the classroom, being dropped off. I've enjoyed being back around people in construction.
Students, they all look up to him. He's doing great, an inspiration actually.
I know he's been getting more independent, more enthusiastic, and more mobile on his own.
I can really start to see a consulting business.
Larry, he's always my go-to guy. I asked him for advice and we rolled out the plans.
It's been very rewarding spending a couple of afternoons a week with Chris.
If you just talked to him on the phone, you called him right now, you would never know that this is a guy in a wheelchair.
I think he's got a lot to offer everybody. I'd love to have him back on the payroll. I can't wait.
You have to make the most of what you have. JVS really helped me with that. Helped me turn the corner.